Is this how it happens? Is this how nice girls wind up on those missing persons posters? They travel to places like this with people they think they can trust, and then... She panicked. What should I do? She glanced to the door locks. I could lock them, hop behind the wheel, take off, and leave Ryan in the dust to walk home. Yes. Her hand started toward the lock, then paused. What if I'm wrong? I'll be the laughing stock of the school. But which is worse, being the laughing stock of school or guest starring on the side of some milk carton? She watched as Ryan approached, brushing the jet-black hair out of his eyes and breaking into another grin. Becca's stomach flipped again, and she shook her head. She could trust Ryan Reardon. She knew it. "Where are we?" she asked as he opened her door. "Well, definitely the wrong side of the tracks." His deep blue eyes sparkled as he held out his hand to help her from the car. Becca could easily get out on her own, but the guy was so sweet to offer, so she took his hand and let him help. The sun had already set, leaving just a few bands of red and violet across the horizon. As usual for this time of year, the fog was billowing in from the beach. Becca pulled her jacket closer and folded her arms to hold back the chill. "Hey, Reardon, you're late!" They turned to see a skinny kid, 9 or 10 years old, scamper down the grade of the train tracks behind them. "Pepe," Ryan called. "What's up?" The kid wore a dirty T-shirt, torn pants, and no socks. Immediately, Becca's heart went out to him. How could she have been so stupid? Poverty didn't mean people were bad. It meant they were struggling to keep up, or struggling against hunger, ignorance, disease, the very things her folks had fought against in South America, before her dad died. Once again she looked over the neighborhood, at the sagging houses, the ragged kids playing in a vacant lot, and this time she saw them for what they were. People, like herself, but in need. As Pepe arrived and high-fived Ryan, he gave Becca the once-over. "Que bien," he said, with a mischievous grin, winking at Ryan. Ryan laughed. "English, my man. Talk English." Pepe turned to Becca. "I said the pretty lady's almost as beautiful as what he's been bragging about." Rebecca felt her ears grow hot from the compliment. She threw a glance to Ryan. He seemed as calm and unflustered as ever. "How's your mom?" Ryan asked. Pepe shrugged. "No change?" Another shrug. "The doctors, they say if she doesn't keep taking her medicine, she'll get a sickness they can't cure." Ryan frowned. "You tell your mom the doctor's right. TB's a tricky thing. Even if she thinks she's getting better, she still has to keep taking the medicine." Pepe shrugged again. Then, turning to Becca, he grinned. "So, the pretty lady's come to see the Death Bridge?" he asked, motioning to the train trestle behind them. "Death Bridge?" Becca asked. Pepe turned to Ryan. "You didn't tell her about the Death Bridge. Doesn't she want to see it?" "Next time," Ryan said. "We need to get going." Pepe gave another mischievous grin. "Got other plans, huh?" Ryan tousled the boy's hair. "Not what you're thinking, amigo." Becca looked to the ground as her ears grew hotter. "Listen," Ryan continued, "you better be heading home. Your mama's probably worried." He turned back to the car to open the door for Becca, but Pepe quickly stepped in and beat him to it. "It was a pleasure finally meeting you," he said as he held open the door. "Thanks," Rebecca said, smiling. She stepped inside, but Pepe did not shut the door. Instead, he hung on it and continued talking. "I've heard so much about you," he flashed another smile. The heat from Becca's ears spread to her face. "Pepe," Ryan scolded as he crossed to his own side of the car. Pepe shrugged and pushed her door shut, but he kept right on smiling. Ryan climbed in and fired up the car. Becca reached for the seatbelt. Fastening it would give her something to do to cover her embarrassment. "Cute kid," she heard herself say. "How did you two meet?" "I'm in the Big Brother program," Ryan answered as he pulled the car onto the road and made a U-turn. "He doesn't have a dad, so I come down, a couple times a week, just to hang out." Becca's heart swelled. Imagine a high school guy taking time from his busy schedule to help someone like Pepe. She stole another look in Ryan's direction. What other secrets lay behind that heartbreaker grin of his? They passed Pepe and he gave a final wave. The boy returned it and shouted, "Salud amor y mucha familia."